T. Adorador graduated from University of the Philippines, Los Baños with Bachelor of Science in Forestry last 2013. So after graduating, he worked as a researcher in river basin projects implemented by NGO. He pursued his master's degree in forestry in the same university, UPLB. Currently, he is working in his alma mater as assistant professor and current head of the Plant Biology Division, Institute of Biological Sciences, College of Arts and Sciences, UPLB. So please give a warm welcome for Assistant Professor Jiro T. Adorador.
Good morning, everyone. So I am Forester Jiro T. Adorador from the Plant Biology as introduced. And this is actually a presentation about or I think almost a culmination of all the field works and field visits as we have done since 2013. So we really love summer. I think it's really our second hometown. So home island pala, no? Okay, so in forest surveys, no, since most I saw there's some participants, some are actually students or foresters by profession. So when we survey forests, no, we tend to forget about the ones that are very atypical. Hence, this calls that they also need to be appreciated, of which the title, no, lesser known, so and noteworthy. So this is not actually a a finished research. No, this is more of an update of what could be discovered. So for the outline of the presentation, okay, so you have the Samar Island and its flora. So yung sa mga in the introductory videos while waiting, you saw that multitude of topics were already discussed. So let's now go to the lesser known and the lesser known species, no? Those that are only known from the type, no? From the specimens that used to describe them, or the incompletely known. Because some species are actually just described based on flowers, sometimes based on fruiting materials, and sometimes, no, and amazingly and interestingly, even sterile materials. When you're really sure about it, when the experts really sure about it, they can really describe it, even in sterile form. Okay? So noteworthy. So there's so many meaning about the noteworthiness of an element, of which I produced here a subset of four, no? So they're not really exclusive. So they are new island record for Samar Island, which is not surprising since it is part of a larger complexes then. Noteworthy also because of their potential economic value. Okay, so these are untapped resources from the adjacent forest, no? So local communities should be grateful for these resources. And of course, here are probable new species. No? Since we were collecting and visiting Samar Island, no? I'll give you a snapshot of what we're working at. And those that are unknown and yet has amazing stories to tell. Okay, and ways forward. Okay. So Samar Island, no, it is actually the third largest. It contains the second largest fragmented forest lowlands, no, and it homes, no, the largest terrestrial protected area. Contiguous to yung tuloy-tuloy. Because yung Sierra Madre is divided into several protected areas actually, no. Whereas in Samar Island, it's just one coherent, but it's really difficult to manage really big protected areas, as experiences have shown. So for those who have not been to Samar Island, this is the highest point, arguably, in Samar Island, and you're facing towards the east. This is Mount Yawa, no? Or in Bisaya, no, the Devil's Mountain, because of the harsh conditions or yung mga those that tries to go to these places, no, really find it really difficult, no, to find the tracks to these peaks, no. And towards the east, no, you have actually contiguous, no. So it has been lagged, no, but it remained to be very, very dense, no? Yung forest doon. Thus, it's actually perfect hiding places for um, those with different ideologies, no? Yung mga left wings natin. But they're also good people. No? So, Samar Island, no? So, I want you guys, no, to look at Samar Island as part of the archipelago, no? Not just the island alone. Hence, this a map at the left, no? So you have the bathymetry line, no? So these are actually the shelves, mga oceanic shelves, no? That's continental shelves, no? That are actually 150 meters below sea level, in which you can see aggregation of islands, no? So yung kulay green are actually the present day islands. So Greater Mindanao, no, encompasses what we know now as Samar Island. Thus, yung mga new records are actually just artifacts of those studies that failed to collect them. So it's not surprising at all that many species could be new records to the island. What else? No? So Samar Island are chiefly lowlands, no? Of which the karst areas approximately have almost the same elevation at around 350 to 400 meters above sea level. The topography is very rugged, no? It's very dissected, so you have lots of headwaters on 8 or 10 major watersheds here. And the highest point is Mount Warao at just 859 or meters above sea level. Oh, I think this is 700, no? I wasn't able to recheck yung GPS. So I think it's 700 pala. 759. So, ito yung kanina pa nating nakita is actually the Hopea samarensis. This was described in flowering materials, no, by Gutierrez back in 1980s, and it's actually not known in fruit, no. So very interesting. So ito, you can actually distinguish these species, no? On dipterocarps, you can actually distinguish them based on bark. Sometimes, no? Sometimes it's really species specific. So those who are taking forest taxonomy courses, no, should be familiar that even bark really gives some identifying characters. The climate, no, is just wet and ever wet. So type 2 and or type 4, no? So it's almost the same throughout the year na maulan. There's no peak. If there's a peak, it's December to February. No? Thus, even at low elevations, and even it is a limestone area, there tend to be, no? My colleague, Miss Assistant Professor Logato, no, proposed the term cloud forest, no? Those used in South America, no? Because there are actually places in the Philippines where clouds tend to lay low at most time of the day, hence producing an upper mountain-like ecosystem, even at just 400 meters above sea level. So you'll be amazed later. And the forest cover, no? So forest cover is a sad fate for the Philippines, no? Because it has dwindled up to 70 or almost 90% of the original vegetation, of which the open forest for the entire island is at 27%, whereas perennial crops, mostly here are coconut and abaca, no? Especially the northern parts, constitute about 36%. Almost a third of the island is dedicated for these crops. And 14 at yung wooded grasslands, these were the ones left after the logging, no? And vegetation is just really, really slow, no? The succession is really slow because of the edaphic factors, no? It could be ultramafic, it could be limestone. Okay? And interestingly, no, Samar Island, no, is actually a conglomerate of different geological complexes, of which the island alone is home, no? Is home to at least 10 or 11 forest types, almost, no? So, merong peatland dito, but heavily converted already. Pero may mga patches pa naman. And 16% of the island, no? Ito yan, yung mga dark blue sa gitna, okay, has limestone or limestone-derived substrates, no? So meron din dyan, no, yung mga kulay oranges, those are actually the ultramafic areas. Whereas some are even volcanic, no? Yung mga violet, may mga small patches dyan, the Mawo volcanics. And of course, the rest are zonal soils, no? From the erosion of the original substrates, where forests are really tall. So let me take you a trip, no? A visual trip on a large perspective and up close. So you have here, no, from the cliff at around 300 meters above sea level. So you have here, no, where erosion is producing um, thick substrate, soil substrate, no, you have tall forests. But those found on the peaks is where the magic starts, no. So they could either be very, very rare, very, very prominent, almost morphologically dissimilar to their typical species, but no, plants adapt, no? So they also vary phenotypically. So in the larger perspective, no? So started by UNDP in 2007, you have different plant categories for SINP, of which, no, it was enumerated here that most are actually of landscape or ornamental value, and a bulk also are timber producing. Kasi for foresters, when you look at the forests, no, it needs to be managed sustainably, sustainably. But if one of the factor is not met, no, it will not be sustainable to manage, no? May mga illegal logging, of course, your fuel wood gathering, and many more problems in forestry sector. And amazingly, no, also you have cottage industry, mostly are rattans here, and of course the medicinal plants, no. Recently, there's a uh, an increase in the studies of medicinal plants, no. So marami ritong kakaiba, no. The most studied here in summer is the polypog, no? Even the identity of polypog itself is still not really clear, actually. So this is actually a I think this is a tangile, no? Okay. So for I think yung the baseline, no, except for those that published species descriptions from Samar Island, these are the floristic studies, no, that is really, really well cited when we talk about the plants of Samar Islands. So of course, you have Madulid, no, by Dr. Madulid. So, and those are just statistics, no. You have the biodiversity research assessment, no, spearheaded by CIRCA. So this is the most comprehensive, no, 974. And the study by Cameo on major subwatersheds actually produced a lot, no, for species listings. You have 308. Whereas the lexicon, no, yung, I think this is Rojo 2004, no, 2004. There are about 410 species of trees. This is only for trees found in Samar Island. Of course, these are just mere enumerations. But the most comprehensive, and those that have collections or voucher specimens are from the protologs, no, when they describe the species, and on these are herbarium based, no, Madulid 2002 and the circa 2004. And recently, no, through the program na Konkaigangan, no, since 2019, there has been numerous studies, no, site specific, and sometimes generating a checklist as a whole for Samar Island limestone areas. And floristics, no, and the future papers will show that the karst ecosystem here is really, really diverse and unique. Okay, so the significance of this presentation. Sorry. Na-out ko siya. No? Okay na ba uli? Bumalik na? Hello?
Yes, sir. Opo. Okay na po.
Okay, okay. Okay, so the significance is that most atypical woody plants, no, for us foresters and surveyors, no, tend to be neglected because we do not know them, no. They are mostly, no, at the time of the survey are sterile, and we just don't know them. No? Thus, we don't include them, or we include them as SP1, SP2, undetermined one, undetermined two. No? But recent multiple trips from the same sites, no, actually gives you a more holistic perspective of plants that could be found there. No? And thus, we also need to appreciate these lesser known and noteworthy plants. No? So this one is actually, I think, this is an interesting species of Excoecaria. I think Van Welzen's group, Dr. Van Welzen's group, is now producing a revision for Excoecaria. No? So you have, of course, forest species, no, of the mangrove associate that we know, the buta-buta, no, Excoecaria agalok. Okay, so for the scope and limitations, no, so to frame this presentation, no, it includes purposive surveys, no, and touristic walks, no. So since 2013, no, almost 10 years na pala next year, no. So at least 10 visits, no. Ito pa yung hindi kasama yung parang trip lang, no? So collection visits, and it covers approximately 6 karst peaks, no? So we really go to the peaks of the karsts, no? The terrain is really, really difficult, no? Almost comparable actually to, I think, 7/9 in the scale of Pinoy Mountaineer, okay? So mostly in Tenane and San Isidro Paranas and in San Rafael Town. So this range from 350 to 420 above sea level, meters above sea level. So it only includes woody plants, no? So hindi kasama yung favorite ko na palms here, no? Yung mga pandans hindi kasama because they do not produce, technically, they do not produce wood, no? Kahit matigas sila. It does not include yung mga bamboos and of course yung mga herbaceous plants, no? Which are equally interesting. Lalo yung sa wife ko, no? Yung mga orchids. And yung ibang mga herbs, no? That many teams or groups are actually really digging and studying them, no? So most of voucher specimens, no? And were examined, no? For correct identification and research purposes. So most of what I'm going to present of voucher specimens, no? Which will be deposited, no? So we're actually curating still, no, collections from the project. So this one is a widespread ixora, no, salicifolia. Okay. So interestingly, no, Samar, limestone, no, since kaiga nga, no, it's hot, no, in Bisaya, in Waray, igang is hot, so it's dry, but no, the situation geologically and climatologically of Samar Island actually also enables it to have mossy condition at just 400 meters elevation. So this is the dry season. And as foresters, no, I think the chat box is working. Okay, so those students around, no, or foresters alike, can you type on the chat box even the genus, no, even the genus of these plants? So on limestone areas, no, on the entire Philippines, mostly, no, they are dominated by generalist widespread plants, but they have their morphological variability, maybe for adaptation or almost into appreciation. No? So they are developing a race on their own towards speciation through thousands of years. But for now, might as well and practically we can lump them into typical species. So, sige nga, mag-chat nga kayo. Wala nag-chat? Wala. Any guess, no? Even the genus. and this one. May manggifera. Oh, nice. Actually, this one is close to manggifera, no? This is actually, bukananya, no? This is your pawan or balinghasay, no? So this is your bukananya arborescens. Who else? Hopea. This one, no, is actually, sige, sige, isa pa, ulayan. This one looks like ulayan, right? Mga lithocarpus. Okay. How about else, no? I know there are many biology or forestry students here. Sige nga. Sige, 20 seconds. I'll wait for other chats. Okay, mukhang ano, no? Okay, Tangile is third one. Okay. Okay. Nice. Heritiera. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you'll be shocked, maybe, no? When towards the next slide. Okay. Okay. So the first one is actually Canarium. No? This one. No? So I first thought that it could be an interesting, a really interesting species, but the Canarium, no, on dried areas tend to develop just a single terminal leaflet, atypical to those that we know of pinnate, adpinnate leaf Canarium. But all other characters, no, the speciform inflorescences, the length of the calyx tubes, corolla, all points, no, to CF ovatum, no, the typical pili. This one is the balingasay, and the third one is actually, this is yakal, no? Yes, it's pili nut, yes, canarium, okay? So this one, no, there's a note by Ashton when he produced his treatment for the Flora Malaysiana that sometimes, no, Shore astylosa yakal develop yellowish or bronze induments, no, which is really, really rare for yakal, no, Shore astylosa. So we made chops of inner barks for more accurate identifications, no? But of course, this could also be attested by other means, no, molecular or waiting for it to fruit and flower. Okay, but for now, no, all their appearances point to these typical, no, typical species. They are found on limestone areas. They are generalists, no. We foresters really know them. What else, no? These two, these three pala, no? Of course, sige, baka maubusan tayo ng oras, no? So this is actually your agarwood, no? Indiana. You have your narig, no? Narig. So narig is actually very identifiable even on the external bark morphology. So flaky and camouflaged, no? And of course, this one is, these are their identifications. Okay, Xylosma dehiscens, no? So they are typical of dry forests and or limestone areas in the Philippines, no? Most of these, no? So, but the other extreme also grows on these conditions, of which some are really narrowly distributed and they are edaphically restricted, meaning they only grow on one specific soil types or substrate. So forgive me, no, this is not actually a woody plant, no, this is an nepenthes. So I included this as a picture here, no, for a narrowly distributed and edaphic restricted plants, but it's not woody, huh? Because Nepenthes samar is only known from upper pictures. It's only described using upper pictures morphology, and of course the inflorescences. But you can see it also develops. It also develops basal pictures, of which is really winged, no? Which is very, very dissimilar to the ones that was described. But the upper pictures tend to configure with the description. Okay, this one is the ones that we described now with Peter Quackenbush. who is now doing the molecular phylogeny of Medinilla, no, worldwide. So this was a Malabrigoy, no, of Dr. Pat, and Cathetus, no. So recently, Phyllanthus has been split into, I think, 5 or 7 genera, no, of which this one, no, is really significant because it's only, no, as collections have it, information has it, mostly grows on limestone-derived soils, no. And amazingly, no, this Lancifolius was first described, no, from a collection adjacent to the site, no, doon sa bandang Loquilocon, okay, and around Calbiga. So those were the first collections. So wala pa tayo sa main, ano? So thumbs up nga kayo guys kung okay pa kayo. Sige nga, thumbs up. Or is it too fast? Okay lang kayo? Okay. Okay, mukha namang may gising pa, no? So this is actually the view from one of the topmost portion of the karst. So it's really rugged, no? And the stones are really not forgiving, no? No, regardless of your shoe brand, no, for hiking, it will really pierce through. So you can see it's actually, no, it's actually really interesting, no, to see these plants up close, no, and chance upon them on fertile or sterile material, on fertile materials. Sige nga, basahin ko lang sa, okay. So else, okay. So ito na yung start natin. Dito pa yung start, no? So ito yung mga lesser known, no? Ito yung mga only known from the type. Type means on the specimen materials that were first used to describe the species. So Terminalia macrantha, no, by Rojo, is was collected adjacent karst formation on Caldiga, okay, of which only flowering materials were observed, no? So these ones is they really know, no? And it's interesting that bongoran, the common name for this, is really used by the locals. Now, of course, the locals, no, before they became aware of the importance of conservation, now most people from these parts of the Samar really have lagging related activities or jobs. So no wonder that they really know their plants. So this one is called the Bongoran, no? This is the first collection of its fruits, actually. So 1948. So ito hindi masyadong kinukulit kasi hindi naman kilala, no? So we chance upon them. What else, no? So known only from the types, no? Kasi may mga syntypes at paratypes, of which these are also collected from adjacent karst areas, no? On the valleys, no? Ito yung mga valleys species. So this is was first described in Cyatocalyx, no? Anonasi, Drepananthus crassipetalus, because you can only identify the species in flower because of the nature of the petals, no? Crassi means thick. Okay? So those who really know the dipterocarps, no? These are among the rarest, no, dipterocarps there are, no. So in the Philippines, no, alam ko may mga new species, and recently there's a reconfiguration of the generic placements, no, sa mga shorea, and I don't know how to absorb them, no. So this one is like the yakal kalyot, no, kalyot, okay, yung mga kusumbingyana, but the leaves rather, no, are more ovate, no, more ovate from the base, and the midribs are actually raised, no, because in Hopea kisumbingyana, no, yung yakal kalyot is that the midribs are actually channeled, no, so you have a canal at the midrib, at the addiction side of the leaf, no. But this one should not be mistaken, no. It's really wide ovate, no, in shape, and the midrib is raised above, no. The fruits are still unknown, actually, and interestingly, this was only known then from ultramafic areas. So you see, no, generalist plants, no, that's why they are termed generalist, no, regardless of edaphic conditions or soil types, they really thrive, no. So we have this study, no, but it's on palms, no. Higher plants tend to be more widespread than lower stature plants or mas mababang plants. Simply because of simple logic that they can, the taller you are, you can disperse seeds more, no, than low-lying plants. Kasi yung dispersal limitation niya mas maikli. Okay? What else? So this one, no, this one is from the species epithet, no, Osmoxylon oblongifolio, no. It's only known from oblongish leaves, no. So merong mga ano, yung sa Kinney Phillips so 1979, no, sineperate agad siya based on the key because wala itong well-developed na lobes, no? But on the same individual, no? This is Mang Donoy, no? One of the more iconic hunters then, pero conservationist na ngayon on this place. So you can see the lobes are really developed, no? It's trilobe. The mature ones towards the fertile axis are actually just yun yung mga oblong. Okay? So one good thing about field studies, that you go beyond what is described. So you go beyond on the variability of the species on nature, no? More than yung mga dead specimens sa herbarium. Of course, magiging dead naman ito, no? So, but knowledge like this are really actually important so that we really know how few or how many the Philippine flora is, no? What else, no? This one, no? So this is also a new record, no? And incompletely known also, no? For Samar. So this is a case area Mindanaensis, no? So those foresters who know your Talitan, no, and alikes, no, those are the case area. But this one produces the largest leaves of all Philippine case area. Okay, I think the widest, no, even the broadest leaves on the entire Malaysia. Kasi yung others, no, the case area pallida is larger, no. And this one originally collected in Zamboanga, but Mr. Greg Rule, no, Assistant Prof. Greg Rule also was able to take photos of this in Surigao. But this one is really different in the glabrous, no, very glabrous underside of the leaves, no. But Flora Malaysiana treats species in a very big concept. So might as well, no? Even Stenists have noted that we should actually see and realize that species, diversity is really not as many as we thought it should be, no? So if you accommodate variations, you tend to broaden your species concept, no? So in this one, this is the first collection of the flowering material, no? Because it's only described, no? It's really different. It's really big. The fruits are really different, no? It's oblong. And this one approximates the dimensions, but this one is flowering. Okay, so this is also a new record for Samar. And amazingly, so karst areas in Samar were actually uplifted. No? They are coralline limestones, no? Uplifted in the past millennia, no? Past millennia. So they were, you could think of it that the species once thriving therein are actually the beech forest species, no? So that they become isolated, they were elevated, and maybe speciation have taken place already. But this one, CF, no, it conforms really the one described, no, by group of Sir Bong Alejandro, that this one is the inland, no, from the ultramafic areas of Dinagat Island. But this one is thriving atop the karst formation. It could be both, no, yung Philippinensis or Montoye. If you think on the geological history, it could be really the beech forest species, the Philippinensis. When it was uplifted, it converges, no, with the approximities of your Montoye. Oh, okay, so This one, no, new record uli ito, but it's not really surprising, no, kasi maybe it crossed the San Juanico Bridge, no? So this was only then found on Leyte Island. So it's really different from all Glochidion in its really, really big pubescent glaucescent leaves, no? It's more than, no? I've measured on my notes, I think it's about 38 cm in length. If you know your malabagang and alikes, no? Yung mga typical Glochidion natin, you'll really be amazed, no, on how large these leaves are, no, for Glochidion, actually. And this one, no, this one, this actually calls for a pattern, no, for a pattern that we tend not to really look into it, no. Osmoxylon simplicifolia, okay, or simplicifolium, no, sorry, I wasn't able to counter check, is only known from the upper mountain areas of Mindanao, okay, on the eastern Mindanao. But it is somehow, no, somehow different, no. So it's not really at all very spherical, no. The inflorescences, no, it's not really the ones that found on Mount Urdaneta or Mount Redondo. Redondo. I think it's Mount Hamiguitan, no. The other collection was Mount Hamiguitan or pictures, no, and fewer branches, fewer flowers per branches, no. So this one is just up to 7. Based on the collections of Mindanao, it's actually 10 to 24, but all other characters tend to be the same. So interestingly, no, at 400 meters above sea level, no, does it really approximate the habitat of upper mountain forest? No? Kasi these species are actually distributed here, then only known from high areas. And one of the more interesting, no, Syzygium is really difficult, no? About 200 species. Good thing that Mr. Jason Mansibang is actually sticking his nose into this, no? So I've consulted him, no? And it tends to be the ones only known from the peaks from Mount Tapulao, okay? The size, the venation, and all others, but we don't have the flowers yet. So could this be the species, no? Again, this species is only known, no, from ultramafic peaks, no, or subalpine habitats almost, no. One nearest to this is the Syzygium thayabense, no, because I examined the underside and there are lots of glandular dots, no, at the abaxial side at the undersurface, no. Then actually it's a complex, no, acrophyllum, thayabense, and this one, no. The two sites on Luzon are actually highland and ultramafic. This one is 400 meters and just a limestone. And a limestone, no? So really interesting. And okay pa ba kayo? Sige nga, thumbs up pa nga. Thumbs up pa ba kayo? Okay pa? Okay. Do you want me to continue or okay. I see about 5, no, thumbs up. Okay. So, sige. Okay. So this one, no, these are the ones that we will no contribute dun sa repository natin sa CDFP until we've established the real identity, no. So this is actually of potential naman. They are noteworthy, no, because of potential economic importance. This is Aquilaria CF filiaria, only known on few areas of Mindanao and Dinagat. But it's really different, no? It's really different by very small and oblanceolate leaflets, no? Ding how when he treated Thymeliaceae, no, in Flora malesiana, the concept is really broad, no? But the variation falls within CF filiaria, no? We need flowers to be sure, but interestingly, no, and out of luck, perhaps, no. So we saw this plant atop a certain karst peak, no, and the wood is actually decaying, no. When you collected the specimen, some parts of the wood are actually decaying. And we tried, no? We tried to at least check if the same aroma of the wood is retained in this species. It's also similar within this species. No? I put it here, no? Of potential economic importance, no? Kasi if it is sustainably managed, no? You can actually propagate this and produce the ones industrially produced in Indomalaya, no? Vietnam, Thailand, yung agarwood production. I tell you, no, this one produces a very, very good aroma. So we were like sniffing sniffing cigars or pots, no? Kasi it's really, really aromatic. No? We didn't kill the tree, of course. We know we need to conserve them, but we tried the decayed portion of the wood inside. It's really, really different, no? I think someone should really go and study this one. And this is native, no, to all Malaysiana, but the aroma is there. The aroma is there. But I don't tell you to poach, no? I'm just sharing my experience, no? What else, no? This one is the closest is your mga chico, no? Naman Manilcara Zapota. So this one is a fasciculata distributed throughout the Malaysia. But this one, no, even Van Royen stated that the fruits are edible. No one has really tried it. At least yung some tests to know their palatability, no, and the content of the fruit itself. But it's actually tastier than the normal chico, and it's really small, no. So it could be, no, again, sustainably propagated, of course, through pertinent laws, that this actually holds a great potential, no, economic value. The fruits are really, really good. Okay. And I know that you know some plants whose shoots produce different hues or colors. But this one, no, we've been coming back almost 10 times to the same sites. But we have not chanced upon the flowering materials or fruiting material. But horticulturally, this sounds a very good value. Okay, horticulturally, because the shoots are blue. Very few species of plants have bluish shoots. No, some are simplocos. No, I've observed even some hediotis produce bluish shoots. Most or some ferns, no, have bluish colorations, but very rarely on such trees. No, that could be of horticultural importance. So it could be, no. Actually, I will consult, no, Clisthranthus or Gomphandra, no, but I have not really peeled or checked the xylem threads, no, of the leaves. Kasi diba, you have from the Gomphandra, you have the xylem threads when you torn the leaves. But this one's really interesting, and we do not know it yet. And this is just a rundown, no, of what we're working at currently. So this one, no, is like the lanceolata from Agusan and Camarines, but this one has different texture. No? The texture of the leaves alone and the base, no, is really different. This is your kaya. So you know your kaya, no, if you have a good tertiaries, no, they are box-like, no, at yung mga kaya. Same, Calophyllum has a very distinctive venation pattern. So as kaya. And of course, parts of the Gotiferae, no, very small reticulations of box-like appearance under the hand lens. This one is really interesting, no? So this one is we do not collect, no, the typical species, no, but as foresters we are actually exposed to multitudes, no, of diversity, and why not collect them? So we tried collecting this one, and it turns out to be really, really interesting. So CF belensis, no, Policius belensis, these are in relative to your malapapaya, no, the ones that we use for toothpicks or light with construction materials. No? So you have the dog bones, no, the malapapaya, but this one's really different. No, the styles, as you can see, the styles, the persistence are actually divergent, and it's really, really out of the Philippines. No, the nearest would be the CF Belensis, but it also occurs on mountain elevations up to 2,400 elevations. The leaves are different, the pedicel are different, no? And we actually also collected, Dr. Edwino also collected ones from Dinagat, and I collected some from Sibuyan. And I think we will try, no, to at least grasp this new interesting policias. And for those, no, part of the PNTE and the enthusiasts, no, we all know that Radar Marchera are actually good substitutes for Tabebuya. Okay, but this one is really different. All Radar Marchera have pinnate inflorescences. This one, on the axillary branches, no, you only have spikes or racemes. So we have collections, but the entire population has this character, but we want to browse and dig deeper than this. No? So it could be, no, there are species of Radar Marchera called depauperata because of the very depauperate inflorescences. It assumes it conforms, no, but it's still panically, no, it's still panically. It's never, no, it could be just an adaptation to limestone areas, but the population, the phenotype is very, very consistent. Interesting, man. And this one, no? So this one, of course, collaboration with people from UST would be the best, no? So this one is a Villaria. Experts from UST, I think they could really determine this, but based on their key, no, it's keys automute bracteata, but it's really different, no, from the leaf base, the bracts, and the vestiture, no, the hairiness of the flowers themselves. So very many interesting plants. And this one, no, this one is when I was exposed, no, to the diversity of Syzygium, and then many people are actually started working on Syzygium. I started collecting some, no, and I consulted, of course, the ones that we know best for Syzygium now would be Jason, and he told me that I view species in a very broad sense, but the ones who really studies it could understand them better. So this one is like pallidum or borneense, but the inflorescence axes are just very long. But we don't have the flowering materials yet, of which Robinson's key on Philippine Syzygium and all other treatments, you need the flower to determine actually. Okay, so malapit na to, no? Just three last species is that I want to dedicate, no, the entirety of the presentation to the late giants of botany, especially to the Leonard Cohen and of course Dr. Lafranchi. Is that because without this book, no, and without their works, no, it's actually a generation back, no, yung knowledge natin of Fit and Flora. This one is has been on our target really, no, but we do not chance since 2013, no, upon flowering and fruiting materials of this species. I don't know if it is just the lichen itself, but there is something within the bark or on the surface of the bark of this species that even juvenile trees are all white. It's all white. Even the twigs, look at this one. The twigs are all white. So I file it as a microcos or anaclosa because as Lafranchi would state it, no, undistinguished plants. There are no other good characters, height, even the sterile forms that could delineate its relationship with other plants. Undistinguished, no? Kapag undistinguished, iilan lang yan. Yung halos walang glands, walang stipules, walang mga scars, no? It's really difficult, no? But the absence of a character is also a character. Okay? The local guides know it is as I don't know, no? By our friends, yung Waray speaking friends here. They Manong Donoy called it panimughatan, no? Because it's really unbreakable daw, no? When they during then, no? Nung nanguhuli pa sila when they hunt for wild boars, no? They use these trees that it's really bendable, no? It really bends up to the point that it almost breaks, but it won't break. So very interesting plant. And this one, no? It could be a Drypetes or Xylosma, but it's a combination, no? The base are unequal. It's Drypetes, no? The venation is box-like. It's very fine. It's Drypetes. But the nerves are crowding at the base, no? So it might as well be Xylosma. The fruits are without bent stigma, no? If it is bent, it should be Drypetes, but it is not. The pulp is bland tasting. It's not bitter at all, like Drypetes, and it is one-seeded. So I think flowering materials would be very well be used, no, to delimit this taxa. And I just include this one, no. It's really good looking, no. It could be almost a substitute to gagakan, no? But it could be Drypetes or Jospyros. But it's really strongly revolute, no, like yung ating Jospyros maritima, yung sa tabing dagat. Sometimes they are strongly revolute, no. I forgot the common name, no. And but no, it does not possess lamina glands, no, at the base, so it could not be Drypetes, but or just Pyros rather. But some factors of Drypetes are also here, no? Hence this presentation on lesser known and noteworthy plants, no? We are actually the ones. Actually, it's the political will, no? If you want the karst areas to be like this or be back to where it was, no, on what it was then. So summary and conclusion na tayo, no? Sorry, napahaba ata. So the Samar over limestone forest, no, have an astonishing and unique plant diversity, no, which is interestingly comparable to ultramafic and montane, even subalpine areas of the Philippines. At very low elevation, the the floristics that are very unique to those places are found here. I don't know why. There are lots of plant species needing rediscoveries and recollections, and local communities, no, should really be made aware of the resources they have so they know what to manage and what to protect. Future directions, no. I keep on being rejected on research grants, no, on establishing long-term ecological monitoring plots for karst areas, but it's really worthwhile, no. Maybe some of you are very rich to fund such research. And of course, collaborate and connect, because then you will realize that the Philippines is so diverse in plants, even in animals, that you cannot really do it alone on your own. And collect, and collect. So I think that's all. And of course, I want to enumerate, no? Of course, my wife, no, and my field companion then ever since was my mentor, Dr. Pelzer is really generous, no? And the entire CDFP community, the late botanical giants without whom wala tayo ngayon, no? And of course, at least sa knowledge sa plants sa Philippines. The Kaigan team, no? Spearheaded by Dr. Inocencio Buot, no? And Ma'am Diana of SSU. The bosses, it's the really active PO that really accommodates us like family, no? And for SINP, no? We've grown so much, no? Together during our stays, no? Even we are sleeping on the quarters of the DNR personnel, and of course on my institute, no, si Ma'am Zenaida Baisa and Ma'am Iris Mate, and from my home unit, no, PBD, IBS CAS, and of course the funding, Just Picard, and yung mga funding namin dati, the Ruford and International Council. I think that's about it. And the references, and of course, we all know this saying, no? In the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand, no? And we will understand only what we are taught, no? So I hope you share and spread the word that many plants are needing your attention. Many plants are just waiting for you to be discovered. I think that's about it. Thank you.